I don't have money. I don't have any money. What am I gonna do? And so I just found out we're not gonna get any. And so now I'm just like, what the fuck? What do I do? I'm just gonna starve. Because everything I have now has to go towards rent and utilities. And I don't have anything. My bank account is in the red right now, actually. And so, what the fuck do I do, guys? What the fuck do I do? I just need to focus on feeding my cat and paying my rent, and everything else comes second, apparently, including my own health. So, wish me luck, whoever's watching, because I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to afford food. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to afford anything. I'm done. Everything is falling apart. I'm done. I'm just so fucking tired. So yeah, that's it. I don't know who I'm making this video for. Maybe it's for myself, so I can one day look back and see. How far I've come. But right now, I'm not feeling much hope. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
November 1st, 2025, 42 million Americans might not get their food stamps, not because the money doesn't exist, not because Congress can't fix it, but because they're choosing not to. And while people are panicking about how to feed their kids, there are folks online arguing about whether hungry families deserve help. Here's what everyone's missing. This isn't just about compassion. When you rip billions of dollars out of the food economy overnight, everyone feels it. Grocery stores, farmers, small businesses, people who think they're completely insulated from this. But instead of solutions, we're watching people get shamed for being poor. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Today we're breaking down what's really happening and why this affects you, whether you realize it or not. Let's get into it.
If you're on SNAP or EBT benefits, you need to watch this video. So with the shutdown, the SNAP benefits, EBT, it's running out. Here's some suggestions. Don't spend money to get your nails done. Don't spend money on Hennessy. Don't spend money on Jordan.
No sense for, in response to the government taking food off people's tables, for us to then open our wallets and continue the economy as if nothing is wrong. It's time for a cop boy of the holiday season. The time of year where corporations make the most money. Yeah, shut it down. Close the wallets.
Did you guys realize that there's so many people talking about the food stamp cut that's going on, as far as like people not getting their food stamps for the month of November? But what I'm gonna say is probably not going to benefit you or change the narrative of what's going on for the month of November. But what I am going to say is, did you guys realize that around the first of the month, when the majority of people get their food stamps around the first of the month, not everybody, some people get them like on the 3rd, the 15th, it all depends. I don't know if it goes by your last name or what, but majority, if not all of these grocery stores around the U.S., they depend on those billions of dollars worth of food stamps to come in every single month. They prep for it every month at their grocery store. That's why when you go into a store around the first of the month, you see fresh grapes. Everything looks so fresh and pretty because they know that it's going to leave those shelves quick. You guys realize, even if it's just the month of November and people don't get their food stamps, do you know how bad that's going to hurt the grocery store?
Grocery stores literally schedule their entire inventory around SNAP distribution dates. They stock up the first week of every month because they know billions are about to flow through their registers. Corner stores, farmers markets, local butchers, all of them depend on that monthly influx. When SNAP gets cut, those fresh grapes rot, inventory wastes, employees lose hours, and grocery stores operate on 1 to 3% profit margins. They don't absorb losses, they pass them on through higher prices or close locations in poor areas entirely. This is the multiplier effect people ignore.
Hey y'all, come look at this. Thanks to the Democrats, I may not get food stamps next month.
Nope, I ain't doing it. No.
I've been checking.
No, can't do that one either. No, can't do that one. No, I can't do that one. What if I just say, no, damn it, I can't say that either. Heal me be strong, Father God. I'm trying my best, Lord. I ain't gonna say nothing. What if I just say, okay, Lord, okay, amen. I ain't doing that, y'all. No.
Okay, this video explains better than anything else I've seen why these SNAP cuts are going to devastate everybody, even the people who say, oh, I don't care if they have SNAP or not. Just watch this.
Every single person in this country benefits from food stamps, even if you yourself don't receive them. And if you don't believe me, here's a story about Mary. She gets $150 in SNAP benefits every single month. She spends $50 of that at Diane's farm every month getting fresh produce. It's great. She gets good food. Diane gets an income. But next month, benefits are cut off. So Mary can't go to the stand. But it's not just Mary that can't go. It's the 50 other families that also use their SNAP benefits at Diane's. So now 50 families plus Mary aren't getting fresh food. And Diane has lost out on thousands of dollars of income, which is absolutely catastrophic as a small local farmer. She was going to use that money to replace the tractor that broke down so that she could keep farming. So now she literally can't keep farming. So she's not only not providing food to families on SNAP, she's not able to provide food to the community at large. And the person who was going to sell her that tractor, he was going to get a commission. And what was he planning to use that commission for? To pay for his mother's health insurance that she just lost. She needs medication every single month. And so now she has to scrape together whatever penny she has to try to pay for her medication, which means she can't get the mold in her apartment repaired, which means the repair person she was going to pay, she can't come in and do the repair. So she's lost out on income too. And the store that the repair person goes to buy things to make the repairs, they're seeing declining sales because people are making less repairs. So the store has less repairs, the repair person has less work, the mom doesn't have health insurance, he hasn't made a sale, she doesn't have a tractor, food isn't being made, people on SNAP aren't eating. Do you not see how it's all connected? Even if you don't have a shred of integrity that says, oh, I just want people to have food, I just want people to eat, do you not see how it's all, even if you don't have it in you to care about people just having food, can you at least see how programs like SNAP being shut down literally do affect you?
This breakdown shows exactly how money moves through communities. Mary buys from Diane. Diane fixes her tractor. Tractor guy pays his mom's insurance. Mom pays a repair person. Repair person buys supplies. Each transaction creates the next one. SNAP has one of the highest velocities of any government program. Every dollar generates $1.50, $1.80 in economic activity, because recipients spend it immediately on necessities. It doesn't sit idle. It circulates. You might not use SNAP, but it's keeping your grocery store profitable, paying employees who serve you, supporting farmers who grow your food. The web connects everyone. Pull one thread and the whole thing unravels. That's not bleeding heart politics. That's just how local economies function.
Also, remember that Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They could end this shutdown tomorrow if they wanted to. They could also find funds for SNAP, just like they're finding funds to pay ICE. They also could take some of the money that they're sending to Argentina and put it towards these SNAP payments, but they simply don't care.
You want to know why I'm not having an aneurysm over people losing their food stamps on November 1st? Here's why.
Is it because food stamps don't cause aneurysms? Maybe you lack information that would allow you some empathy. Food stamps are not there to greatly disrupt the lives of the people who have already had great disruptions from financial burdens. See, disruptions to life like this can cause an inability to thrive, especially if you're a young human. Food stamps are there to bridge that time, so at least you have the food while you make it through that financial hardship. I'll make it easy. Let's say you're used to sailing in the Caribbean, but today you wake up and you're sailing the Cape of Good Hope. That is a violent difference. You're going to have a shit ton of studying and figuring it out along the way to do. During that time, at least you get to eat the way you want to. And your kids get to eat the way they're used to. See, the food stamps are there to minimize the damage caused by financial hardship, not create more. Anyway, I hope this helped.
Food stamps minimize damage during financial hardship. That's it. It's a buffer preventing total collapse when life goes sideways. Lose your job with bills stacking and kids to feed? Hunger destroys your focus. Interview performance, decision-making. You can't climb out of a hole while you're starving. Economically, prevention beats crisis management every time. Emergency room visits from malnutrition cost more. Kids with poor nutrition fall behind in school, affecting lifetime earnings. Desperation-driven crime devastates communities. SNAP is prevention infrastructure.
This is still a topic, so I have some points that I wanted to make that I have not heard anyone else bring up when it comes to the food stamps. The first thing is that when you're on food stamps, they don't completely cover your monthly expenses, okay? Your monthly grocery expenses, they don't completely cover them. You still go about a week and a half like trying to figure out, well, how am I gonna put food in the house, because you already used all your food stamps. And the other point that I wanted to make is that when you are on food stamps, you have to make a certain income. And if you go over that income, if you go over this certain threshold, let's say it's about $2,000. If you go over $2,000 in your income a month, and let's say all of your rent takes everything, your light takes everything, you know, and any other expenses like household items and stuff like that, people don't bring that stuff up. You need dishwashing liquid, you need to be able to wash your clothes, all of that shit, right? That takes up that $2,000, and then you're on food stamps because that is supplementing. That's why they're called supplement, right? So it supplements that part that you cannot afford, right? If you make $2,050, does that $50 cover your fucking grocery expenses? Guess what? If they find out you made that extra $50, they're gonna take away your fucking food stamps. The system, it works, but it's extremely fucking flawed. And nobody talks about that shit because people are upset that they're not getting food stamps, and I understand. But we should also be talking about the fact that people that are on food stamps, still, they get punished by the system for making more money and trying to do better in their lives, and they also still fucking starve at the end of the fucking month. That's a fucking problem too that we should be talking about.
The cliff effect is economic insanity. Make $1,999 monthly, full benefits. Make $2,050, benefits gone. That extra $50 costs you $200 plus in food assistance. You're literally poorer for working harder. Any rational person looks at that math and thinks, why take more hours if my kids eat less? The system punishes improvement, then blames people for not improving. The fix is simple: gradual phase-outs. Let people keep partial benefits as income rises. States that tested this saw people work more, not less, because they weren't being penalized for progress. But nationally, we built a trap, locked people in it, then called them lazy for not escaping. That's not welfare fraud. That's structural design failure.
So I get $3,000 in food stamps. Obviously it's 8 of us, so you do the math. That's why I get $3,000. I have no income, so obviously I'm gonna get the full benefit amount. Does that make you mad too? Does it make you mad that the government is helping me feed my children? Does that make you want to punch me in my face? Does that make you angry? Does that make you shiver in your boots? Yeah. Be mad. Stay mad. How's I'm gonna feed my kids? I don't have a job, even though I'm going to an interview today. God, like I said, I took your advice. So it is what it is.
Quick math. $3,000 for 8 people equals $375 per person monthly. That's $12.50 daily, roughly $4 per meal. Try feeding someone 3 healthy meals on $4 each with current prices. It's nearly impossible. No income, 8 mouths, job hunting. What's the alternative? Let kids starve during the job search. When people rage at these numbers, they're really saying children should suffer for circumstances they didn't create.
November 1st is less than a week away, and if you are one of those 42 million individuals living in the United States currently receiving SNAP or food assistance, then this date is extremely important to you. Now, there are some individuals who do not care about some individuals not being able to receive their food assistance. Currently, a person receiving SNAP benefits may have low income, an elderly individual, a veteran, a disabled person, or may even be a college student to even qualify for those benefits. With all decisions and powers and funding still being in the hands of Congress, right now no one is aware or know when they'll be able to receive their full SNAP benefits for the month of November, as of right now due to no sort of funding being passed by Congress. Right now, with the economy being the way that it is, there are a lot of people who have sympathy and empathy for those who do depend on those benefits every month in order to survive. I also have seen that there are some videos of people who currently receive SNAP benefits. They are already planning ahead. They are looking at different websites such as Kroger's, coming up with different deals, so they'll be able to get at least the meat part of their meals. I know meat is the most expensive part of a meal. So if they could simply buy meat and then be able to get possibly vegetables or whatever at a lower price, then they may be able to go ahead and survive through such troubling times. Some people are saying that, hey, listen, if you are able to have your nails done, your hair done, and everything else, then guess what? Figure it out just like everyone else. I want you to go ahead and leave your comments, thoughts, and everything else below on this particular situation when it comes to the SNAP benefits. If you are someone who does not currently receive food stamps, what are your thoughts and how do you feel about this as well? Are you one of those who may have a little sympathy and empathy for food stamps possibly not being distributed in the month of November? Or are you one of those who care less about this particular situation? If you are a SNAP recipient, what are your current plans and what do you plan on doing during this time to where you are not sure or aware if you'll receive any sort of benefits in the month of November, or if you do receive benefits, it may be at a lower amount than what you are usually expecting. Please be sure to like, share, follow, and comment on this particular video. Have a great day.
I grew up on food stamps. Like, I just, for some reason, I think that we are dehumanizing people who receive SNAP benefits. I grew up on food stamps. I was a recipient of food stamps. I don't think I would even be alive right now if it weren't for those benefits. And it has been so deeply concerning seeing a number of videos shaming people for receiving SNAP benefits. The SNAP benefits that are in threat in November. And all I'm going to say is, as someone who organizer, activist, social worker, therapist, my career spans well over a decade. I have worked with thousands of people, and I have helped clothe, house, feed those people over the course of my career. And I can tell you, I would not be here today if it weren't for those benefits. It is so ridiculous to get on here or anywhere and shame people for receiving benefits. We should not exist in a society where people go hungry, period. And you should not dehumanize people who have to receive these benefits, because you never know who will turn around and be able to fucking help you. We are human beings. We should have a human-centered focus where we are trying to make sure all of us are good.
I grew up on food stamps. I wouldn't be alive without them. Now she's a professional social worker. SNAP isn't permanent for most recipients. Average time is under 2 years. Temporary help during temporary crisis. People who got benefits as kids grew up, got educated, got jobs, now pay taxes funding the next generation. You catch people when they fall, they get back up, they contribute back. That's the cycle. But shame creates generational damage. Those kids watching parents get humiliated for accepting food, they internalize that. It shapes how they see their worth forever, affecting mental health, ambition, self-perception. Meanwhile, wealth concentration exploded. Billionaires hoard more than they could spend in lifetimes. But we're debating whether single moms deserve $200 for groceries. The math doesn't math. Look up at power, not sideways at people struggling like you.
I don't know what be going through y'all's heads or what type of person you think is a recipient of these benefits. I've seen people get on here and share their stories, and they were students, single parents who were fired. Look around at the job market now. All of us are a paycheck or two away. Most of us, who's not the 1%, are a paycheck or two away from literally needing those benefits ourselves. So I think it's so ridiculous to even begin the idea of shaming anybody for receiving those benefits. No one should ever have to be poor. No one should go hungry. No one should go without housing. There's enough food to go around. There's enough housing to go around. We are looking side by side when we should be looking up who is padding their pockets even when everybody else is struggling. Because everybody ain't going broke right now. Look up. The wealth gap has grown exponentially over the course of the last decade alone. Why? Because we're so focused on moralizing poverty as opposed to getting at the people who are actually hoarding wealth and intentionally doing so. The reason the government is shut down right now is because they want to raise insurance premiums on families, everyday working families, like over 100%. Like, come on now. Y'all are worried about the wrong thing. Anybody who's trying to shame anyone who is a recipient of SNAP benefits, you are Bozo the Clown. And I hope that you get your head up out of your behind and you can look around and see what the real problem is. Poverty is not a personal choice. It is a systems issue. That's it. This is a reminder.
Listen up. I have a lot to go over, so please listen up. Now, we know on November 1st that EBT or SNAP benefit recipients will not receive their November benefits. My state is saying that the cards will not even work, which is crazy to me because even if your benefits are terminated and you still have money on your card, you can still use that money until it is depleted. So for them to say that the cards are going to stop working is weird or planned. The General Counsel provided a letter to the USDA on May the 23rd, 2025, thereby guaranteeing that benefit funds are available for program operations even in the event of a government shutdown. In addition, congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operations should continue since the program has been provided with a multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure that the state can also continue operations during a federal government shutdown. So why is the White House saying that they are barred from using these emergency funds, which directly contradicts what the USDA said? You want to know why? Because it's planned. There's a reason why gas prices are still high, rent is still high, utilities are still high, groceries are still high, and it's crazy that people are making videos saying that nobody should be on SNAP when many families can't even afford their rent. There's also a reason why Trump is putting all these tariffs out. He is gaslighting people to think that our economy is getting better, and it's not.
The tariff cycle is self-destruction disguised as strength. U.S. tariffs. China. China retaliates. American farmers can't sell overseas. Argentina fills the market gap. U.S. gives Argentina $40 billion. Then U.S. imports Argentinian beef to replace American beef that can't sell. We funded our competition while our farmers go bankrupt. Then we fix it with bailouts funded by taxpayers, money that came from the original tariffs we charged ourselves. See it? Higher prices from tariffs. Industries collapse. Bailouts from our pockets. Higher prices again from reduced supply. Working class pays twice.
Farmers are losing their businesses because of these tariffs. Just listen.
You ever see somebody set their own house on fire and then hand their neighbor $40 billion because their house needs a new roof? Welcome to American trade policy. This is so crazy. Just try to hold on. The U.S. slaps tariffs on foreign goods, claiming it will protect American farmers. Sounds tough, right? Except now, those same farmers can't sell their stuff overseas because other countries hit us back. Reciprocated tariffs. That's econ speak for they flipped us the same middle finger. So our beef and soy exports tank. Meanwhile, Argentina jumps in and fills the gap in the Chinese market. They loosen export taxes, flood that market, and start cashing in. And what does America do? We give Argentina a $40 billion bailout. $40 billion. To stabilize their economy. So now we've literally bailed out our own competition while American beef producers and farmers suffer. But wait, we're not done there. After bailing them out, the U.S. signs a deal to import Argentinian beef. That's right. The country that just lost beef sales due to this ridiculous tariff policy is now buying beef from the folks who replaced them. And when American ranchers complain, Trump offers them another bailout, similar to the 2018 bailout of $12 billion. What prompted the 2018 bailout? The same damn thing. Overly aggressive tariff policy by Donald Trump. Okay, so where's this money coming from for the new agricultural bailout? This is where it gets fun. From the tariffs the American consumer is forced to pay that started this whole thing to begin with. That's the loop. Tariffs hurt farmers and the working class. Bailouts reward rivals. Imports undercut ranchers. Then another bailout to fix the mess by the last one. Paid for by the American consumers getting charged for the same tariffs that launched this downward spiral in the first place.
Are you awake yet? Also, Canada puts out a video with the audio of Reagan's speech talking about how he did not like tariffs and then said it's fake, which is an absolute lie if you just do some research. This is Reagan's speech from 1987. Now, imposing such tariffs or trade barriers and restrictions of any kind are steps that I am loath to take. Oh, and look at this. Trump Jr. linked drone company wins Pentagon contract. Of course. Why not let his family make more money? Not only that, but Amazon Ring security cameras moving deeper into law enforcement with Flock Safety, Exxon deals. So they'll be able to look at your Ring camera footage. Everything he's doing is by design. He put this EO out to strengthen our police, to be militarized. He is deploying the National Guard into many states. You want to know why? Because people are about to starve and riot. And why would they care? They are building a ballroom to eat and feast at, while the American people suffer. I am very passionate about this because I love everyone. I don't want people to starve. I believe in loving thy neighbor. And I believe our country used to be about morals, and now it's not. My clients are elderly and disabled, and they depend on these benefits to survive. And yes, there are a few bad apples that cheat the system, but that's not everybody. A lot of middle-class families are on food stamps. And if you are able to afford groceries, that is great. But stop boasting, because a lot of people are showing their fruit these days. I'm praying that the Trump administration's hearts will unharden and they will actually use the funds that are allocated for this type of emergency to be given out.
If you watch any one of my videos this year, please let it be this one. Many of you know, starting on November 1st, SNAP benefits will basically run dry. At a time when food instability and food prices are already out of control, practical and logistical impact of that will be some people will die. Yes, SNAP has been cut so much over the years that for some, it hardly makes an impact anymore. For others, it makes a huge impact. Not to mention, different shortages in SNAP mean different places where people shop, which means that certain goods, which would normally be bought by lower income, can't be bought there anymore because they're gone. It means, especially as winter comes, a lot of families are faced between choices of food or clothing, only make the impact much worse. Here's the thing. I fundamentally believe, numbers-wise, that the food exists. Channels to distribute it exist, but they need fuel, they need visibility, and they need partnerships. For the next few months, we're gonna need a whole lot more inventory at food banks and food pantries. Probably need pop-up food banks, especially for areas that don't have easy transportation to get somewhere to get food. Need distribution channels in order to get stuff from one place to another, like moving excess food to a centralized hub where people can go and get it. Need restaurants who haven't yet partnered with organizations that take food waste and bring it to communities who need it, because the reality is a lot of restaurants waste a ton of food, not because they want to, but because they don't have an infrastructure in place or they don't know that organizations like that exist. We'll be honest, my wife and I, we have no idea what we're doing. We're just idiots with phones who also have full-time jobs. I'm a lawyer, she's a professor. Also, just so happen to have a stupidly large thing on here. A lot of times there's like social media managers out there who want to make a difference with the brand but need to provide an ROI, a visibility, a marketing, and I get it, it's a business. So I don't know what I'm doing, but let us be that visibility. Tag all of your favorite brands, your favorite restaurants, your favorite food packaged good makers, your favorite logistics channels and cold storage facilities. So many brands actually have systems in place that can be used to help situations like this, but might not know it yet. With like refrigerated trucks being a perfect example. The whole lot of organizations that already do this. I want to amp it up here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is going to be one of the higher affected areas in the country by this. Hopefully, I don't know, it works, and then other people out there on apps like this who want to make a difference too, we can install this sort of same template. Tag them, inundate them. This is a chance for all of us to do some good.
Food exists. Infrastructure exists. Coordination is what's missing. Actual actions. Find local food banks needing volunteers. Connect businesses to food rescue organizations. Restaurants waste massive amounts because they lack redirection systems. Organize community fridges for anonymous sharing. Check on elderly neighbors or families with kids who won't ask for help. This isn't charity, it's community infrastructure. When institutions fail, people fill gaps.
They can send me an email. We will help figure out the logistics of it, my wife and I, to try to make something work here. If you can help, I promise you that I will make sure that everyone knows about it. I hope this doesn't flop, because it's gonna be embarrassing if there's like one brand and 8 views on this video. Are infinitely less qualified to be able to do this than the systems that already exist to do it. However, if they're not gonna, then we don't really have a choice.
Seriously, it's a state of emergency. These people call emergencies for all kinds of stuff, but I have not heard a declaration about an emergency alert or anything about November 1st. And we need to talk about it because it is a very serious situation. Before moving to the Dominican Republic, I was living in the States, born and raised there. And right before I moved here, I was still a recipient of food stamps. I was. And while I was a highly decorated professional, there was a point in time where I became sick. And unfortunately, I needed to tap into some of the government programs, and they were there for me, like food stamps. I can only imagine the panic that's running through so many people's minds right now. So I'm wondering, at no point in time has anybody figured that maybe a state of emergency should be called in anticipation for what's about to go down? This is like preparing for a storm without it being a meteorological event. This is going to be a social storm. This is going to be a very real storm. Do you realize the amounts of crime and the amounts of things that are about to happen, the amount of people that are going to die, the people that are going to be hungry? Because not only is food stamps going, but healthcare costs and all that stuff are going to be rising by state. I think the premiums are going up over $13,000 to $16,000 depending on what state you're in. I think the one that I learned the most was Kentucky. I mean, it is absolutely insane. So I just want to know, like, what is the backup plan for November 1st? What are we doing? How are we doing it? Is there anything happening community-wise? Is there anything happening, like, just what do you need? What do you need?
Hey, I don't know who I'm making this video for. I don't know why, but oh, this is Clover. This is Clover. She's my ESA, my emotional support animal. She's doing a really good job right now. But so I just found out that no ESA benefits are going to be given out starting November 1st. And I literally just applied as I've been needing them, and I kept getting denied, and I didn't know why. And now that I have like every right to have them, and I'm gonna be having a lot of financial trouble soon. And I really needed them, and I was really excited because I have the circumstances. I'm in school, I'm looking for work. I don't have money. I don't have any money. What am I gonna do? And so I just found out we're not gonna get any. And so now I'm just like, what the fuck? What do I do? I'm just gonna starve. Because everything I have now has to go towards rent and utilities. And I don't have anything. My bank account is in the red right now, actually. And so, what the fuck do I do, guys? What the fuck do I do? I just need to focus on feeding my cat and paying my rent, and everything else comes second, apparently, including my own health. So, wish me luck, whoever's watching, because I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to afford food. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to afford anything. I'm done. Everything is falling apart. I'm done. I'm just so fucking tired. So yeah, that's it. I don't know who I'm making this video for. Maybe it's for myself, so I can one day look back and see. How far I've come. But right now, I'm not feeling much hope. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
This is collapse. No drama, just quiet desperation. No benefits. In school, job hunting, bank account negative, choosing between feeding herself and her cat. She's doing everything society demands. Education, job searching, legitimate need. System failed anyway. If you're here, school emergency funds exist. Local mutual aid groups help. Campus food pantries operate quietly. Neighbors often want to help, but don't know who needs it. Swallow pride and ask. Survival isn't weakness. It's practical.